Hello, hello, it's Rosa
and Jules.
Welcome to Let's Unpack It.
We're going to try our best today, but this will be like a kind of same vibe as like, I think we had an episode where both of us were like really hungover one time.
Yeah, I think that was episode 6 or something.
No, it was like episode 3. Who knows?
Well, I stopped counting.
It's a good problem to have that we have so many episodes that we're like, what's happening?
Yes.
So I'm proud of us. Air five. Oh, you left me hanging. Wait,
no, you went too fast.
Air five. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know or are listening to this many months from now, because I don't think this episode will drop until August or September, we're in the midst of the June London heatwave. So Absolutely. It has been, for our American audience, between 95 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or for our European audience, between 34 and like 40.
Something like that. I mean, I just checked the app before you came. It's like around 35. And especially in London, it's just so unthankful. I'm not going to lie. This concrete jungle, all the New Yorkers out there might relate. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just heating up intensely and every step is just aching.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It's been crazy.
It's been really, really crazy. And it's just been like one of these weeks where it's like, it feels like everything should be canceled. And it's just not.
I mean, to be honest, I just saw people canceling themselves. They were all already out drinking.
They were canceling themselves.
Yes. You know, they were
so
already
true.
out there. And I was jealous because I was just moving for 1 hour commute to get my fringe cut and back. And that was basically my day.
Oh, you
and
did
that's
get your fringe cut?
Yes, because I couldn't see anything anymore. It was just here.
Oh, so the bangs overtook you.
Yes.
You were just hair.
The microphone, the bangs. I mean, like, I have to choose my battles.
Do you
today.
know the reference, like Cousin It? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what's that?
Okay, so there's this, like, I think he's on the Addams Family.
I like the vampire family. This like Addams. Fantastic.
But basically, Cousin It is their cousin that just is hair. Like, literally just, like, is hair to the ground.
I just know the hand.
Yeah, so you're not the hand. You're Cousin It, I think, in this scenario. But I check my reference. Let's see if I'm right. I could be wrong. Honestly, I haven't slept well all week. And I'm covered in mosquito bites. Like, if I were to like take off my clothes right now, which I'm not going to do,
that would go viral. That podcast
that would definitely go viral.
You know,
I am one with the mosquitoes. Like, I am just, they are me, I am them.
Maybe you are actually mosquito. Didn't you never ask yourself what kind of animal you would be? Maybe this is kind of a
I'm a corgi.
Oh, I can see that.
I'm a corgi. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And I have a corgi butt.
True.
Yeah, I do.
True.
What animal are you?
I don't know. You know the what's it called? They're like in the desert, and they're like small little animals that like
scorpions.
That stand like this, like they're cute little animals who like have Anyways, I don't know how to say it. I have to look it up.
You're
in German.
An animal that jumps up like this.
It's just like a small little. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Let me quickly check. I want to know now.
Okay, Rosa is gonna look this up, and then I'm gonna, while she's looking this up, I'm gonna start introducing the theme of today's episode.
Meerkat.
A what?
A meerkat. Meerkat?
What the hell is that?
You don't know?
Show us that. We need a visual. Could you show me? Flip it to me.
I flip.
Flip. I have never seen one of these
What
animals.
the hell?
Is it like the thing that's in Ice Age? The sloth thing in Ice Age? Is that kind of?
I swear to God. No.
Okay,
I'm not a sloth. I'm a koala bear. I can see that. Or like a panda bear.
I don't think you're a panda bear.
Well, to anyone here in the audience who knows how I look like, what kind of animal I would be, please let me know.
Yeah, maybe we'll put out a poll because obviously there's no consensus. Like, we both were like, yes, Jules, corgi. And I have many friends who would say I'm a corgi.
I mean, you definitely are. You're incorporating it for sure. I can see it.
Yeah, and I wear this like high ponytail. Like, now I'm not doing it today, but now that my hair is long, and it's like a corgi ponytail. It like bounces like a corgi.
You would be the queen's favorite if she would still be with us.
I could be in the royal family.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to talk about today. And honestly, I'm kind of happy we're talking about this today because I've been very temperamental all week because it's so fucking hot. Bleep me. Is unlearning likability and like this like thing that we are raised with as girls where like we only have a certain range of emotion and like really the goal of everything is to be likable. And it's kind of like this thing that is so frustrating. And this week has been such a reminder of it because I've been just very short with people this week. Like I can be very cutting, you know?
Oh, I know.
And I just have no patience this week because I'm just like, I'm overheated. I have not slept. My REM cycle is not REMing. Okay. Yeah. And honestly, people be acting out in this heat. They're just acting out. So all week I've just been like cutting, and I'm like, oh my God, like, am I not being likable enough? Which is crazy. Like, I shouldn't care about this, but this is like this real thing that like girls deal with. I mean, I'm a woman now, I guess, but
definitely.
I'm a woman.
That's also something I wanted to touch base on, like with this whole journey around, like, you know, first of all, learning how to be a good girl, then the cost of all of this, and in the end, how to unlearn this. I think that's literally, if not longer, but it's definitely the 20s where this is going up and down and where you kind of find yourself for sure. And I can also relate to this week because people are kind of, I don't know, acting very weirdly when it's too hot. Like everyone is too slow, fair enough. You know, I'm not expecting everyone to perform, but like things are not moving as smoothly as they should. And like, it's just awkward. For example, today I would have loved to just take more time for myself because there was nothing left in my brain. And I don't know, I tried very hard and it really bothered me. So I understand where you're coming from. Really, I do.
Yeah, it's like we're in one of these, we're in, as I would describe it, like a fever dream week.
Absolutely.
It just is a fever dream. Like, that's all there is. And like, yeah, like, I mean, in terms of like taking time for yourself, I think that's the only thing to do this week because no one is doing well. So like, I told one of my clients, I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to get things done this week. I can't think.
Fair play. What did they say?
They said, yeah, Sam.
Okay, good.
Everyone's in this heat wave. If you're working with anyone in continental Europe or in the UK, everyone is suffering. Except if you're in Portugal. Portugal weirdly has like 20 C weather.
You know, like that's the thing with Portugal. I mean, it's a perfect place to live.
It's
in
perfect.
The winter. It's 17, 18 degrees when everyone's suffering. They just have the nice, wind from the Atlantic. Yeah. In any case, coming back to the topic, I do think exactly. I do think this like hits the nail on the head is that, you know, you have to be authentic and people give you that authenticity back. So it's not really about the question of being liked, but actually speaking your mind. And I do think that's such a difficult bridge to cross.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you like, I have to say, like, for me, I think one of like the biggest problems that I had because I wanted to like being liked so much was actually, and I have to really think because it's been a while, is that somebody told me that I am not senior enough because I tried for once to give direct feedback about a process that wasn't working, you know? And I really tried to kind of put this likability aside and not try to belong in some way, but actually speak my mind and say these kind of things aren't working. And the thing that I got back was basically, yeah, well, you're not senior enough. You can't really see the scale and scope of everything.
You get no opinion.
Don't you think that's crazy?
I mean, that is crazy, but that's also classic. Like classic. I mean, some places are just more hierarchical, and if you don't get a seat at the table, right? And like hierarchy has to do with age, has to do with gender, has to do with sexuality. Like they are all inputs of getting that seat at the table.
Yeah.
And I think so much of the way that I've seen like women especially get seats at the table is by either fundamentally breaking the mold and then being almost taking on these male attributes, or really leaning into the things that make women likable and playing the game really well, which is like really shit choices, right? There's no like happy middle ground where you just like, because we're also all so different. Like the way you would approach giving direct feedback versus the way I would give direct feedback is fundamentally different. You know what I mean?
True, but also I think we have to see that under the mask of how we give feedback, why we give feedback the way we do. I believe when we just look at me giving feedback, there's a version of me trying to be nice because I don't want to hurt anybody, or I want to be seen as somebody who is like soft and nice and easy to deal with, versus the version that I'd like to show. Oh gosh, I like to show
Another
more
microphone
often.
smack. Wait, you're stabbing it.
No, but like there's also this other version of me that's actually very direct, and I'm often just scared, not only in a professional way but also in a personal way, to say it that way because I'm scared somehow that people aren't taking it the right way. Like I'm scared of being misunderstood, and then I'm vulnerable, and I think that's something, to close this gap is hard work, and it will take long time until you feel more, at least I feel more comfortable.
Yeah,
be
you're like
in this
breaking the
position.
mold. I mean, I think a lot of it goes back to the way we were raised. Like, it was
Yes.
something we were talking about yesterday when we were deciding what we wanted to talk about today.
Yes.
Is like, how is it the ways that we're raised influencing the way that we like take and occupy space now, right?
Absolutely.
And like, I don't know. I think it's so different for everyone. And like, we were raised in very different contexts, very different parts of the world. And it's like interesting. And then also we're living in different contexts than the context we were raised in. So then it's also like navigating a lot of that. And also we have all these intersectional identity dimensions, you know?
Sure.
So it's like literally a minefield.
It is a minefield. I believe, though, the one common ground that we have is, girl, like, the early 2000s were not an easy time to be around, you know? I do think, especially for women. And
Really?
also,
I thought
yes.
they were good. I feel like I had a great childhood.
Okay, but then good for you. I mean, like, I shake my hand here. It's great for you.
Tell me more. Like, why are you saying that?
First of all, I think there are many, many layers to this. Like, I can come and I conclude in my own, but I think in general, the early 2000s, we start with pop culture, acting, how women were viewed there. Thinking about, for example, Britney Spears, boy bands, girl bands. I don't think it was very easy to actually be yourself as a woman and not being put in a certain category. Honestly. Then we go into women in career. I mean, obviously pop culture is also career, but let's say economics, politics, any kind of professional career. I mean, it's definitely different, the world, than it was back then. And I do feel like women had such a difficult time to choose a different character that is, or like a character that belongs more to them. There were less categories to choose from of what kind of woman are you going to be in a workplace, for sure. And when I look at my own life, I mean, as a child and growing up in a small village, somewhere close to, let's say, a bigger city, I do think lots of people have, especially in Germany at that time, don't know what to do with people who are different or are not fitting into a certain social category. So the thing of belonging in general, not only as a girl, but as a person, I do think in the 2000s was a different scenario than today.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I honestly feel like I came of age in the time where like feminism in the workplace was being like radically accepted in the United States. Like I was in college at the time that Lean In, that Sheryl Sandberg book.
Oh, that's great though.
Had been released. And like, yeah, Sheryl Sandberg has her problems and we have now, most people have kind of canceled her. And most people have said Lean In was not a good book for women. But I remember being in college, Lean In came out and it radically flipped the script on like what you could be.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I also graduated college at the time when Girls Who Code, which is like a massive organization in the United States, had just started. And so it was like women were being like brought into this like really cool new career that no one had ever seen. We had so many opportunities and it was hard. Like, don't get me wrong, I cried in the bathroom a lot because it was tough because I was the only girl on my team. But I felt like the idea of women in the workplace had radically changed. Like, I remembered my first year of college, I was in this like women's mentoring program and I went to a workshop that was like how you have to present yourself in the office. And it was like, you need to wear like a work dress and heels and you need to wear a statement necklace. And I was like,
that's crazy.
I was like, a man would never, literally no men's mentoring club would ever tell
insane.
you that. But, you know, there just was a higher standard for women in the workplace. The way you present yourself does change how people view you.
Yeah,
like it
sure.
really does. And so for women, you have to be really careful about that. But then I remember by the time I was a junior, that conversation had completely changed. And it was like, actually, no. Like, you can dress however you want. You just should like be polished. You know, you can wear a pantsuit. This is not really what we should be talking about for women in the workplace. This is not what power looks like in the workplace. So I feel like I came of age in a really exciting time. And yeah, like, I think there was a lot of toxic stuff around bodies in the early 2000s. Like, everyone jokes about like heroin chic was like the trend. So I've always felt really weird as a kid because I was never a super skinny kid. Like, I just always was like a curvy child.
Curvy queen.
A curvy child. I was definitely not a curvy child, but like I just was never stick thin. So I grew up at a time where I always kind of felt like I don't really fit the mold of beauty. So I never saw myself as beautiful. And I think that probably helped me to be really bold and lean into being intellectual and being like funny and developing other aspects of my personality, because there were a lot of tropes about like, if you're not beautiful, you have to be funny.
Yeah,
You know?
okay, I see that point, but I'd
Yeah.
like to touch base more on
Please.
that, because I do feel, again, I think in the early 2000s, it's just a very special time, and as a child, you know, you make your first experiences in a lot of things, right? And it influences,
Yeah.
as you say, everything afterwards. Like you have, either you can really capitalize on something, as you say, and say like, I really am comfortable in being funny because I trained myself, I learned the skill, I'm also just talented
Yeah.
in that regard. But
Yeah.
I do think it also means a lot of, I don't know, unlearning of what it means not to be a good girl, or, you know, this good girl syndrome that's out there, which I hate. I hate this term. For me personally, it was also about like making it not about my appearance. I don't know. That's something that I realized when I was younger, that I was very much, I don't know, excluded out of groups because of the way I looked or the way I was. It wasn't really about me being thick or thin, but it was a certain behavior. So for me, I had to kind of learn to accept myself first, not really going and finding traits that I can really work with and that really make me happy. But for me, it was the opposite effect. So I kind of isolated myself very much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because you grew up in a country and a place in your country that everyone probably had to look the same, and you just didn't look the part.
Exactly.
And you were gay.
Period. Like
Gay.
disconnecting from our last episode. Baby, it's because you're lesbian. Really? Yeah.
But like it's a huge thing, and like I don't know, was Glee popular in Germany?
I know Glee, but I've never watched it. It didn't appeal to me. It was, I think, when people sing in series, I don't like it.
Well,
Musicals
Glee,
and stuff.
Like I feel like Glee is a pop culture moment in the U.S. that made it like more socially acceptable to be gay in high school. So like,
Good to know.
Glee really depicted all of that. It depicted like coming out and bullying because you're coming out, and like the repercussions of that bullying, and then like same-sex female relationships and lesbians, and like what that can look like, and like not over-sexualizing lesbian relationships, and like it had a lot of these really tough conversations, and it was in a high school setting. So I felt like my timing was quite good, because I was in high school. I was in actually middle school when Glee came out. So by the time I was in high school, the idea of like coming out in high school was being talked about. But I also did grow up.
That's crazy, because in my life, it's so radically different to what you do. Like these conversations I had maybe when I was doing my bachelor's.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
grew up in the most liberal city in the United States. And I went to an extremely liberal, hippy-dippy high school where, like, you created your own majors.
fair.
You know, like, we were
Wow.
it was really out there. Like,
I'm not judging.
yeah, I mean, listen, it was fantastic. But, like, and there was bullying for sure. Like, you know, one of my good friends was outed by another friend. Like, that stuff, like, mean stuff like that happened. But there were openly gay kids in my high school, and they weren't tossed into lockers or any of that horrible stuff you see. And I did go to a high school that really celebrated people being different. Like, people were super different. Yeah, there were, like, really beautiful girls in my school who, like, hooked up with older boys, and they were, like, the cooler girls. But, like, there was space to be something else.
Yeah.
Which I feel really lucky. But again, I think it's context, right? And if I had grown up in a different part of the U.S. or maybe gone to a different high school, I wouldn't have had that experience.
It's all about visibility, you know.
It really is.
It is. It's also this phenomenon of, you know, diversity in general. When you go into the cities, people vote differently. As in contrast to when you're on the countryside. Why? One of the main reasons is its visibility to everything else that's not you. You know, it's much more in the bigger city than you have in your little village. And also the hierarchies are different. They're maybe also slower because things are just the way they are.
Yeah.
They've always been that way. And if something new comes in, it's not, I don't know, easily digested, I'd say.
Yeah. So do you feel like it was really emphasized upon you that you had to just like be this good girl and try and fit into this mold? And do you think that social anxiety came from knowing that you just could never be that person?
Yeah, of course. I do think lots of my aggression, you
love your aggression.
I do think aggression can also be something positive. I mean, like most sorry to say that lots of men are also very aggressive all the time, and I'm taking my space also to be aggressive. And I think that comes from like, you know, this contradiction inside of me that says, okay, as a child and also as a young teenager, maybe even young woman, I needed to obey the rules. Especially in Germany, we love our rules,
Oh my
right?
God, you can't even cross the street.
You know, it's crazy. I mean, again, I was in Berlin a couple of weeks ago and I thought, my God, people, you make your life so difficult, really.
Literally.
But coming back to the point, I mean, this was something that I've been brought up and that people constantly pushed in my face if I'm out of line or if I'm too loud. Like, it give you a perfect example. Like for me, I was very passionate in school. It's not like I was talking all the time and disrupting class, but I really wanted to understand why certain things I work that way or why I don't understand what the teacher means. And that was often mistaken as being disruptive in a bad way, rather than seeing, oh, this person has passion, they have grit, they want to really go for it. It was kind of pushed down. And to the day now, I'm still trying to unlearn this behavior and just be simply myself and be direct and not think about, oh my God, what do people potentially think or feel, or maybe they hate me now after I said things very directly. It's an ongoing fight. Yeah. Seriously.
I mean, because you're like trained and that's what you know.
Yes.
And then also it's like, I'm sure when you go back to Germany, you also regress because Germany can be very, as you said, there is a right and wrong way to exist in society. And like it is such a difference because like even here in the UK or the US, like being really individualistic is like very much rewarded.
True.
And it's just a different mentality. And like I don't even know if likability is about following the rules. It's just like it's almost like this thing of like exactly what you're saying. Like you almost have to like make sure you're not doing something that could just like upset the social order of someone else. Which is not likability. That's just like trying not to be a dick towards other people, I guess. Yes. But the rules of that feel quite stifling. And like, I it's so crazy because I like really tried not to do anything that will upset someone. Because I'm like, we're all just out here doing our best. Like today I had to take a bus in this heat. The bus was, I think, 36 degrees on that bus. People were fighting on the bus.
But why were they fighting?
I think everyone was just overheated and no one could express their feelings. So I literally looked at everyone and I go, guys, it's too hot to fight. Yeah, we're really, all struggling. We're all gonna sweat. Let's just like peace and love. And people were like looking at me, and I was like, okay, gotta get off the bus now, or you all start yelling at me.
Love it. Hey, you tried. You tried to be the Messiah.
Tough, though. It's so tough, and like I do really think about it a lot because my parents raised me, especially my dad, who like really does not care if people like him. He genuinely does not care. Like to not be likable. They're like, you don't need to be likable. You don't need to be liked by anyone.
And their workout.
I mean, I've definitely had to learn how to be less cutting because I think, the style and my delivery sometimes can be hurtful to people. But yeah, I mean, I never lose a wink of sleep if someone doesn't like me. No, I will lose a wink of sleep if I say something that will make someone feel genuinely uncomfortable or like genuinely like hurt their feelings. But if someone just doesn't like the way I talk, the way I express opinions, because I really try to express opinions that are quite holistic and considering all views. Sometimes I mess up. I don't always get it perfect. Yeah. But I try not to come off in a certain way. I really try to understand everyone's point of view. Yeah, they don't care. People just aren't all going to like you. I mean, it's impossible.
You can be the juiciest peach in the world. There are going to be people who hate peaches. That's clear. You know?
And like it comes back to work and business. Like I was coaching someone who was getting promoted to a new job. And she was like, but what if people don't like me if I get this job? Like the people that are like older than me and I was like, it doesn't matter. That's their problem.
True.
And like, this is this thing though about what, like how certain contexts were taught this, or like being girls, like good girls, like you don't want to step out of line or cross anyone. Like it's this idea of like, how do you be as accommodating and nice to other people at all times? And the only way to move forward you gotta crack a few eggs.
And you have to also understand that people also go for their advantage. You are, even though you want to have harmony, it's obviously something that has to do with respect and manners to treat people in the right way. But when we cut all of that short, in the end, people come together, especially in a professional setting, when they have an advantage with you, or you give them some kind of value in some way. Unfortunately, that's the reality. And as soon as you have this kind of switch that you can switch on and off, I think it gets better. I mean, I wouldn't say it's rationalizing it. It's just the fact, emotionally as well as rationally, that's just the way business moves forward. And I think then it's easier to integrate your personality, reintegrate yourself into the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, crazy.
But it's tough. It's so tough. I mean, I feel like there is just so much pressure on women.
Yeah.
And on the way we're raised, and it's really hard to unlearn behaviors. So like, how have you navigated that? Like, was it just leaving, like you've been out of Germany for 10 years and out of small towns, right? Was it just leaving that environment? Is there like something you actively practice or challenge yourself to do? How do you kind of combat that?
It's a good question. I mean, I do believe it's a process of years. Definitely the environment helped. For sure, being here in London, having like the ability to be whoever I want to be without this pressure that comes from a very small, secluded place. I mean, just for everyone here to know, I also like moved. So I were 2 locations that we're talking about. I mostly refer to the first one where I was brought up. In any case, I do think London helped me. Also coming out helped me.
That's massive.
Yes. But I cannot really answer because it's still a process. I still bite myself in the butt because I feel the older I get, the closer I see myself from outside. When I'm in a situation and I'm talking to somebody and, this person says, are you sure it's okay? We can also postpone this meeting or the deliverable. And I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. And then I'm, still giving another value and another way. Say, I can also do this and offer that for the package. And I see myself from the outside whilst saying it and realize you're such an idiot, Rosa. Nobody asked you to do that. And you still offer it because you don't feel you're enough. So this, I think a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have seen myself in that situation. The more I'm working on it, the closer I get. And hopefully in a couple of years, I will immediately switch it. And in the moment, I'm just going to say, you know what? Yep, I'm going to deliver that on Monday. I'm setting my boundaries. Does it make sense?
No, it does. And it's, I just don't know how you flex this muscle. I just actually don't know, right? Just time, right?
Muscle memory.
It's just time.
Practice.
I always wonder, though, like, when will I, like, walk into a room and not feel like a little girl?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I refer to myself as a girl. I'm not a girl. I'm, like, a full-blown woman.
You definitely are. Yeah.
Which is, like, crazy because that's not how I see myself at all. And whenever I go into meetings, even with people I work with all the time who I know value me and trust me, I'm like, am I being seen as just like a little girl? And so like, even though I don't have this, like, I don't care about being likable. I don't really think I'm a people pleaser. I'm not, right? No.
It depends on the topic. Depends if you like somebody or not. Then yes.
Yeah, if I like someone, I want them to be seen and validated. But I really am working on my steamrolling tendencies. I'm such a steamroller. I mean, my tendencies just because I have preferences. I have preferences.
Yeah.
Strong preferences. But I don't know, like, I'm like, I still have this weird thing where, like, I was saying to someone, like, I had a business meeting and I was wearing shorts and I went and changed into jeans and it was super hot out. And someone was like, why are you wearing jeans? And I was like, I can't do business in shorts. No one will take me seriously. That's such an insane thing to say.
No, I don't think so. I understand. If I would be in a meeting, I would think twice to wear these shorts.
Right?
Even though it doesn't matter.
I don't know why. Is that like a girlhood thing? Or is that like a wanting to be more professional thing?
I do believe maybe we're similar from the same cloth in that sense, that also clothing can give power.
It does.
It is a fact, that people see you differently when you're, for example, wearing a suit. If that's a good different or a bad different, doesn't matter, but it's a different way of seeing you rather than, okay, I meet you the first time and it's an Adidas shorts. I get it. So on the one hand, I'm not sure if it's going to change. On the other hand, there is this attitude that I say, I'm going to be so good at my job. I could like stand here naked. You would still buy my stuff because you know that I'm worth the money, which also is weird because I make it about money and not about my personality. Dang.
But that's what business relationship is about.
Yes. But
I mean,
also,
it is about personality when you are the product, but yeah, it's inherently transactional.
So my question is, because we have lots of these cool questions, which I think we should go
let's go into the question, the Q&A.
Yes. So what's something you were praised for as a girl that you now think held you back?
I did. That's really hard because I didn't have a lot of girly attributes. I was known as a kid who like broke stuff. Really? I would like go to my friend's house, like break her dollhouse.
No way.
Or like I would like always like talk over all the boys in class. I think maybe the thing that hurt me as a girl was I took up all the space because I had such a big personality and I had so much to say. Like my childhood dream was to be a judge. So I used to walk around and like issue judgments on people.
Oh my God, you guys.
In my building elevator.
It makes sense.
I lived in a building, like a 40-floor building, and I just ride the elevator issuing judgments on like children and adults.
I love this.
It's crazy.
I love that.
So I don't know if I had a lot of really girlhood I'm being really honest. I like really, I was such a tomboy.
Yeah, same though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I was just such a weird kid.
I do maybe
new question for me.
Okay, so when
Pass.
Okay, cool. I mean, there's another one we can. That's maybe something you can answer. When were you last called too much, and were you actually?
Like all the time.
Does people really tell you this?
I think people get really freaked out by me because I'm a lot.
Okay, but is that in your head or did people actually give you that feedback?
Well, okay, so I was...
Because for me, it's in my head. I have the same... I feel always I'm too much.
When I was in New York, I was in a mood and I definitely was... I was being super like... I was just running my mouth. And like, I talk so much. And then when I really talk a lot, it's like I was running my mouth. And I was definitely being too much. And I was just like not listening to I had no active listening skills. I was just full steamroller. So I think maybe that. And I honestly I think I get kind of offended because sometimes for the people who have known me for a long time, they assume that I always have like malintent because I'm like known as someone who's like very in control of their emotions, very in control of their actions. And like, so people think that like I kind of like have a chessboard and I'm like moving things on the chessboard. First of all, I don't know how to play chess. So I couldn't even tell you how chessboard fucking works. Try me. So I think that, and so I get that a lot. So that's a little like frustrating for me. And maybe that's something like going back to your first question that like I was a very like diabolical strategy oriented child. Like I used to like build elaborate traps for my babysitters and like trap them in rooms so they couldn't control me.
No fucking way.
I was a wild child.
That is insane.
Wild. I was a wild kid.
I want to know more about that later.
Never forget when I picked a lock of a classroom with one of my classmates. I convinced one of my classmates to pick the lock of a door so that we could see our test scores. That's the lamest reason to do that. I got in so much trouble. And he couldn't even do the dirty work. The boy I contracted out the job to wasn't even a good lock picker.
Contracted. Okay, well, just to give everyone here also my side of things. So, I was never really somebody who...
I was about to ask you a question, but you want to
I just want to...
Okay, go.
Because you were such a wild child. I mean, I really tried to be one, but that never really worked, if I'm honest. So, I had to, as you know, I don't know how it's called in English, but you have to, like, sometimes when you are punished, basically, you have to go and sit in the classroom after class and just wait for like an hour or like write something down that you did wrong.
Yeah.
And suddenly, like, we were all standing in the queue. We're like primary school maybe or something. I was 8, 9 or something. And suddenly they started all like fighting each other. And I thought in that moment, okay, I want to belong. I want to also be part of it. So I joined in and I was the one being called out and I was sat in the classroom later and be punished. My mom was furious. You have no idea. Everyone else got away, but I was...
But that was the start of your boxing career.
Yeah, exactly. And that was nicknamed. I was the Schläger in German. So like somebody a puncher.
Oh my
So
God.
that was
your
my
child. At least no kids would have messed with you because they knew that they were gonna get knocked out.
Well, definitely. I also had this when I played tennis, and my mother made sure I practiced all of the great sports, tennis, and then did ballet, which never really worked. Like I know, crazy. And one of the things was tennis, and the teacher was his son was also practicing with me. So we're like a group of, I don't know, small little children, and he was little. He just started bullying me all the time. He just couldn't let go. And then I was like just kicking him in the ass. And the teacher came to me and did the same to me. That was crazy.
That's crazy. That's bad. That's bad.
I don't know if that's part of the podcast, but here we are.
I think that might need a cut. That might need a bleep.
Why?
I don't know.
I think it's also, I don't say any names, but that was definitely something. So every time I try to act out in some way or another, I got payback immediately, as if like,
oh my God,
nope, you're not gonna do that.
Isn't there like that German children's book where like the child dies if they just do the bad thing? Do you know this?
That's a very generic description of a German tale.
There's
Be
multiple.
more specific.
Apparently there's like this one childhood tales book that is read to every child.
Moritz.
What is it called?
Oh fuck, Moritz. Something I should know that. It's bad. Well, I will definitely have a look at it. I know which one you're talking about, though, where they cut the thumbs and stuff.
Yes, it sounds like a crazy book.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would not have. My parents read to me Greek mythology. I was like, great, worst thing's gonna happen to me is I'll have to push a stone up a hill for the rest of my life. Yes. Not that I'm gonna lose my fingers. Maybe, so I don't know. Oh wait, let me pick a question for Melissa to ask you.
I really need Max and Moritz, and the guy who wrote it was called Bush, I think, but I don't. Wilhelm Busch.
Did your parents read it to you?
Yes. My mom would be heavily disappointed that I can't remember all of that, because she really, she read a lot to me. I was reading a lot, so.
And you're an only child, so like, yeah, she'd totally be disappointed. What would you do differently if being like disliked didn't scare you? Because you talked so much about wanting to fit in.
I think I would run the world. That's what I would do.
Really?
Yes.
You feel that held back by being liked?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you didn't care about being likable at all.
Yeah, but that's just a shell. I think lots of people think that I'm just this very self-confident person, but I'm thinking a lot about myself all the time. And that's why I do the somatic therapy as well, to kind of like, find a very fruitful way of finding my balance. It's getting better, but I'm absolutely, the idea of being vulnerable, and people, for example, like when we have our podcast, there's always this thought in my head, what about somebody is going to troll us and is going to hate us in the comments? I have no idea how I'm going to react to this. Like, that's definitely something that I'm thinking about. This idea of finally like blossoming and doing your thing and don't care. And then suddenly somebody comes again and tells me that I'm shit in some way, or I'm just disliked, nobody likes me, or I'm just very narcissistic, or just very full of myself, which is not wrong. I am definitely also full of myself. So, I would take that as a truth, which is,
But if you don't love this yourself, then who the hell's going to love you?
Laura. Oh.
Yeah, Laura will probably.
And you love me in some way.
No, but like there's this, have you heard of RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yes.
So that's like a phrase that RuPaul says. Like, if you don't love yourself, who the hell's going to love you?
Yeah, he's also right.
He's so right. And so
it's not like I hate myself.
Yeah, also, I think if we have podcast haters, it means that we've made it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because it means we're doing something right. Because again, going back to this likability thing, like, and this is something as girls we have to accept, as people who may have grown up in society where the goal is to fit in, not everyone's going to like you.
True.
You can't make an omelet if you don't break eggs.
Oh my God. Today, the peach, the omelet, we're on it.
I think we're like thinking about snacks. But I don't know why. I had an amazing lunch. Everyone was eating beautiful sandwiches in London Fields today, so I had an amazing sandwich.
Which sandwich did you have? And then it's my turn to question you again.
No, I want to ask, you asked me 2 questions, so I get 1 question.
Okay. Judge me.
I can't even read this. Okay. What? These questions are... Okay, wait. Okay, I like this one. Do you try and act warm when you work with people?
Yes.
And what does it do to you? What is the consequence of that?
It bites me in the ass every time. I'm a very warm person. I know we have to stop soon with our episode, but I'm a very warm person, even hot, warm. Yeah, and it bites me in the ass because I do think people are taking me as, I wouldn't say not seriously, but they don't take me as, as high on the job structure, like the professional ladder, than they should. Like they can flow around me. I always say, yeah, it's fine, and have a good day. And I do think people take that harmony as something that is not respectable.
Yeah.
And I do have to create my direct language. I think it's basically just about really telling people what I'm thinking and feeling in obviously a professional way. But yes, I'm way too warm. Way too warm.
Yeah, and I feel like it really aggravates you because I can see when you've been trying to appease too many people. It's the days that you're at like peak aggravation.
I can't. Like I need to de-stress. Either I'm gonna go boxing or we talk or I don't know.
Punch
but like
something. Use that rage.
Tough. Like I'm really trying my best to not be an asshole, but I can be.
So fair. Well, that's life. And in the other way that we detox and we not be assholes is by toxing. And so what is the thing you said earlier about
toxing?
Gagging for beers?
Yeah.
What is
gagging for beers? Yes, it's time for the dirty martini.
Yeah, so we're off now. We're about to go. Could you just say it? I don't want to say it again.
We're gagging for beer?
Yeah, is that what you said? Okay. So we're off. That's a great episode.
I think so too. It was great. I think it was very entertaining.
I've had a great time, and we're going to the pub apparently.
Yes,
so
wicked.
Catch you on the flip.
See you. Bye, guys.